Hi, this is Randy from Fried Eggs Golf, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of an experiment, and this apparatus standing next to me is actually an invention that I just created today. It's called the Drag-O-Rator, and what the Drag-O-Rator does is it's going to help me detect drag on a golf club. There's a lot of manufacturers out there talking about air resistance and aerodynamics on the club head and making the club faster through the swing, giving you more distance off the tee. That's all great, but unfortunately there's no way of measuring this till now. What I've done, I've created this device that lets the club hang and sway freely back and forth like this. And we've attached it using these two brackets up here. And then down here you see another bracket that's holding a smartphone. And on the smartphone, there's a level app. And as the club sways back, it actually gives me a readout of how far that angle is that the club is moving. Now, the three drivers I brought with me today are the TaylorMade M1 driver. And the reason I brought this driver is because it's fairly popular, and the fact that it wasn't really designed with the intent to be fast aerodynamically. There's a lot of buzz and technology into this club, but I've seen very little about airflow and about the aerodynamics. Now, the other two I brought with me are exactly that. I have the Callaway XR16 driver, which was co-designed by Boeing, and they brought them in to help them understand airflow and understand aerodynamics and how air and wind resistance interacts with the club. Now the other one, the Ping G driver, maybe you've heard of it. It's got turbulators on it. And what turbulators do is they break up airflow and help it flow over the back. And now they have a new vortex chamber also on the back to help resist some of that pocketing and the air that just slows everything down. So we're going to take these three clubs and I'm going to put them individually on the Drag-O-Rator here. Almost forgot the name because I just invented it. But I'm going to put them on the Drag-O-Rator here. We're going to turn on our breeze generator. It's a breeze generator. And we're going to blow air directly into the face and let it interact as it would right before impact of the ball. Now I know coming down you're going to have a little bit more of the heel leading the way, which is a lot of which technology was brought into the Callaway XR16, but unfortunately I'm just testing that moment of impact as far as where we want that acceleration through the ball. So we're going to plug each one of them in here, turn the breeze generator on, and as drag is created, that friction of airflow, it should push the driver back. Now, this is untested, so I have no idea if it's going to be sensitive enough to actually give me a readout that's different between the three clubs. But if there is, the more drag created, the more the club should flow backwards like this, thus giving me a higher readout on the level. So the higher the number, the more the drag, not so good. Lower the number, like a bullet. That's good. So I'm done talking about it. Let's do some experiment.
I'd always stop, but I always try, and I don't even care who died last night. I can even lift a finger to say no. Words come from my mouth, too slow. Know how we need each other, and then we don't. How we feel the fear to be alone. In the winter, not in spring, and all I really care about is darling, don't start with me. Time is near. Speak for me and I'll speak for you. Please just listen to me, but I won't listen. Look in front of you, your last chance. This little wake call, I can't change. It's kind of strange. The man working for you doesn't even get a say.
So we just put all three clubs on the Drag-O-Rator here, and I have to say the old girl performed marvelously. I was not expecting really any difference in the numbers, at least not that measurable, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I thought the instruments weren't going to be sensitive enough, but we got three very different numbers on all three of the clubs, so let's dive right into those. Now, the TaylorMade M1, though, is the one we put on first, and when we turn the breeze generator on, it actually pushed the driver back at an 8.5 degree. I didn't really know what this meant because I never put a club on here before, and that was the first one I ever did. So it was about an average of an 8.5. Now, we saw some influx and drop, but when it stabilized and it set itself, it was mostly around 8.5, kind of averaging there. So from there, we went to the Ping G driver, and when we turned the breeze generator on, it pushed it back at a 60-degree angle. Now, at 6 degrees, that's 2.5 degrees less than the 8.5, the M1 generator. So I actually was excited at this point because I had a measurable difference between two clubs of the same length, same CC, head size, and it was a pretty substantial difference. So I could see where you would pick up some added, club head speed just from the design of that club itself. So, but from that, we jumped into the Callaway XR16 driver, which was a little bit of a letdown because I was really expecting this to drop to like 4. But average readout was about 7.5. And I think I was anticipating a low number there because of their involvement with Boeing. I thought they would have had something a little bit different. Now, in all fairness, I know I'm getting some feedback from Callaway about this. You can't just measure drag from interaction from the face because you're just measuring that very brief moment before impact, and a lot of the downswing actually is interacting with the heel as far as airflow, and I know that's where a lot of their technology in the XR16 goes into. But Drag-O-Rator 1.0 doesn't measure that yet. So maybe in a future experiment, but today's champion is very clear. It's the Ping G driver. It is the fastest, slickest, most race cariest of the 3 drivers. Now, I know what you're thinking, and it's probably, this is a stupid experiment. But I had fun doing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Hopefully we learned something today. I think we did. I think that we've somewhat proven that the Ping G driver is the most aerodynamic driver on the market today. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the box below. But subscribe to the channel, thumbs it up, and until next time, I will see you later.